And hello, everybody. You are very welcome to a new episode of Redefining Cybersecurity here on ITSPmagazine. I am Sean Martin, your host, and as you know, if you listen to the show, I get to talk to cool people about cool topics, all in support of raising awareness for security programs for the business that not only enable the business, but enable it securely, helping it generate and then protect the revenue and market share that it creates. And one of the key roles, one that I'm very fond of, probably more so than the CISO role, in fact. I think there's a lot of pressure on the CISO role, but the SOC analyst does a lot to protect the business, and the never-ending change of threats and scope and environment and all kinds of fun stuff that they have to consider. And the tools change the game a bit. Business changed the game, and there's a lot going on. And that's assuming you even get in the role in the first place. So that we're going to talk a bit about that. So I'm thrilled to have two authors on, Tyler Wall and Jarrett Rodrick. How are you guys?
Doing well, thank you, Sean.
Outstanding.
Good to have you on the show. And your book is Jumpstart Your SOC Analyst Career: Roadmap to Cybersecurity Success, freshly off the printing press. And congratulations, guys, on bringing that book to life.
Thank you very much.
And before we get into all the fun stuff about the book, let's talk about the fun stuff about the two of you, what you're up to, your role, and then we'll kick it into gear. Tyler, you up?
All right, yeah. So I work full time in cybersecurity in the SOC analyst role, but I also have my own company, Cyber Now Education, which provides training material, courses, and this book is a product of it as well. And we try to help folks that are just coming in, because folks helped us when we just started. So that's what we do.
Love it. And Jarrett?
Yeah, so I've made the jump from SOC analyst to SOC manager, and now more of a director role, as it were. I was formerly the SOC lead at VMware for the US SOC. Took over as the senior manager at VMware post acquisition from Broadcom. Obviously, Broadcom has its own SOC, so. Looking to divest, actually. The new company is called Omnissa. Formerly, the end-user computing division of VMware is being divested. And I'm taking over the SOC, the incident response team, the forensics team, red team, and vulnerability management team for Omnissa. That is what's happening in my world. Formerly Army Cyber, and that's where I came from. And I've been with VMware ever since I retired from the Army.
I appreciate your service there, and yeah, I think lots of folks know and probably use some part of VMware in some capacity. Touches a lot of things, and I can only imagine the stuff you've seen in that SOC. All right, so let's get into the book. I guess what you mentioned, Tyler, that a lot of it was kind of driven by some of the work you're doing with the training you offer and helping folks get involved. But to have content and to have an idea is one thing. To actually bring it to life in the form of a book is another. Talk to me a bit about how that all came to be.
Yeah, so it started about 3 years ago. I was actually doing the Dave Ramsey. Are you familiar with Dave Ramsey? No,
I'm not.
Okay, well, he's kind of a guy that helps people build wealth and everything. So he has his whole plan about these steps that you take. So I was looking for like a side hustle that I could do to really kind of build my income and everything. And so I was scrolling through some internet websites, and I came across an ebook, and I just had this aha moment. It's like I was gonna, I'm in the kind of an entry level role at the time, and I know a bunch about it. I could help people get started. There's a big demand for it, and so one thing led to another. I shot off ideas to publishers, and a couple of them got back to me, and they were really interested in the book and the idea and everything. And at the time, I was just kind of starting at VMware with Jarrett Rodrick, and I asked him to come on board with the book, and he's like, "Yeah, I'd love to help new people too." So we just kind of got together, put our heads together, and spent the next I don't know, what was it? I don't know, 5 or 6 months writing the first edition of the book, and that came out, and it was a good start to this. But the second edition surely is an improvement over everything. We added 3 new chapters. We updated all the information, because as 3 years gone by, that's a long time in the industry. So a lot changed, and we updated a lot of information. We added some quizzes and some new graphics and some, like I said, new chapters and everything. And we spent another few months together putting together the second edition, which just came out. But really, it was driven by the desire to kind of give back to the community, because I'm not sure how the community gave to Jarrett, but the community gave to me a lot, especially when I first started. Folks like Dave Kennedy, and I could just go on a list of just numerous people that just helped me out when I first started, and I wanted to do something to give back to the community as well. And there's no big money in writing books. You do it because you like to write and you want to give back, and so that's what we did, and that's kind of how the book came to be.
Yeah, from my side, it was a COVID project, 1, but 2, I saw this opportunity to really add a way for veterans to jump into cybersecurity, to show my story of how, one, I started off in the military as a combat soldier. I did not do anything in technology. To go from that and move into cybersecurity realm inside the military, and then to get out and jump into a Fortune 100 company like VMware was a blessing. And I saw a path into that realm that others could take, that wasn't necessarily required, that didn't necessarily require the same level of education that college graduates need. So I wanted to represent that for the veteran community. And when Tyler approached me with the book, that's first thing I asked was, like, can I represent the veteran path in? And he agreed, and that was my goal.
So talking about paths, I'm reading here that it tells 5 stories. Clearly, you're one, Jarrett. Tyler, were you a second story, and what were the other 3?
Well, no, we there's little bits and pieces of information about our story inside the first part of the book, but those are other SOC analysts that we found in the community that wanted to kind of give their story. So we're not included in those 5. Those are 5 additional people that we got from the community to give their story.
And can you give an overview of, or you can name them if you want, that's fine too, but just I'm curious, is it different types of organizations they represent, or do they come from different parts of the world? Kind of paint a picture for who those stories come from, because like Jarrett's coming from military and entering is an interesting story, and one I think a lot of people need to hear. And I suspect some of the actual 5 have some of those elements as well. So if you can share some of that, that'd be great.
Yeah. So we have it's a very diverse group of people that wanted to contribute to the book. We have people coming from college backgrounds. We have people coming that were self-taught. We have people that were veterans that came through, and we have people that just kind of came from other areas of IT as well. I guess those are the 4 primary backgrounds that they came from.
The 5 stories are actual, like, real world stories of what happened in the SOC. To go back to my story coming from the military and my journey into the SOC, and then Tyler's journey into the SOC, those are told throughout the chapters of this is how we learned our skill set, and this is what we did to better our skill set to get into the field. Here are resources for veterans. Here are resources for new college graduates, stuff like that. And that's littered throughout the book in the different chapters.
Nice one. And what are there any misconceptions for what newbies or folks who want to enter this space might think they need? I know the one that comes to mind for myself is you have to have a coding background, right? You have to do stuff. I don't know if that's true or if that's a misconception or if there are other things that you uncover and share in the book along those lines.
I guess the biggest misconception is that you need a college degree to become a SOC analyst, and that's just not true. You want to stack the cards in your favor, of course, as much as you can. If you can get a college degree, that's great. It'll help you, but it's not required. A couple of certifications, Security Plus, maybe a Network Plus certification would go a long way, and having actual real world experience in other areas of IT. So some of the strategies that new people trying to get into cybersecurity might take is they might take a desktop support role or another area IT, and then kind of maneuver their way in with real world experience. And that's certainly an avenue that's very fruitful for a lot of people. But a 4-year college degree isn't required. It helps, and if you can get it and you have the time to get it, and it doesn't put you through a hardship, definitely do get it. But it's not required. You should apply for all the jobs that you come across, whether it says it requires a college degree or not, because you just never know. You're going to miss all the shots you don't take.
Any before you go, Jarrett, any thoughts on parts of the traditional college course set that will really help in the role of a SOC analyst?
I can't, it's hard for me to answer that because I didn't take the traditional college course set. I just got my college degree last year, but I went through the SANS Technology Institute. My education was 7 SANS courses. Let me back up. My Army cyber education was 7 SANS courses in 14 weeks. Over my time in the Army, 4 years as a cyber warfare specialist in the Army, I accumulated 12 SANS certs. That's a lot, and I was fortunate enough to be able to bring those to the SANS Technology Institute and wrap those into a bachelor degree. So it's very difficult for me to wrap those into that question, unfortunately. I would say if I could give an answer there, I really think the only thing that I could give is the dedication, right? If you're dedicated to finish a degree, you're dedicated to continue your own education. And I would say that as a hiring manager, that's what I'm looking for, more than just, do you have a degree? What's your home lab look like? What's your learning path look like after you've graduated? What are you currently deploying at your home that you're learning now? Those are the type of questions I'm asking more than what runs over TCP port 22.
Yeah, obviously this isn't about me, but I'm fortunate enough to teach a security analytics class as part of an MBA course on occasion, and I love that the MBA program that they put together includes security analytics. So it's driven by analytics, and they offer the option to do it with a security lens on it. And for me, what I find in those classes is the ability to look at information and sift through the noise to find the root of something, and then to translate that into a story that some action can be taken either directly by a team or perhaps even by management layer, where if they don't know what's going on, you can't translate it, they're not going to give you the resources and the action you need. So those are the two things that I found. I don't know if you have any others, Tyler, from some of the things you uncovered. But
yeah, so curiosity is something that some people. I found that some people are born with they're just curious people. They're just born that way. Even little kids are curious people. There are people that aren't very curious, but you can cultivate curiosity. It's something that can be learned, and you practice it over time. And that ability to be able to jump through rabbit holes and research things and come across something you don't know, and just a spark goes off in your head that says, I don't know about that. Let me go look that up. Just curiosity really helps you as a security analyst and as a SOC analyst. Additionally, if you're starting out, you're considering degree programs to become a SOC analyst or in cybersecurity, I would really consider one that has a cloud component in it. So that's really important, because if you're starting a degree program that doesn't have a cloud component, by the time you reach graduation a few years from now, you're gonna have to go out and learn cloud anyway. You really have to, all these companies are migrating to the cloud, and they're doing it very, very rapidly. And it's becoming just the way we conduct business and the way we work these days. And so if I was just starting out and looking to get started in cybersecurity, and I was considering going to college for it, I would consider one that had a cybersecurity program that had a cloud component to it.
Yep, makes a lot of sense. So there's a couple of different things here. So there's the role itself and preparing for that, which I looking through the notes on the book here, you cover that clearly, of course. What might even be more difficult is the finding a job part, right? How to present what you know, how to connect with the right people to find your way into the organization, so you can even tell your own story, hopefully in a way that's compelling and meaningful to that organization's program. How does a book touch on some of that element of this equation?
Yeah, so the book really goes into detail. It talks about the different groups you can get involved in, both online and both in person, like DEF CON groups and 2600, and online communities like Black Hills Information Security, and these online discords that you can get connected to. They're all fantastic, and networking is a big part of it, because you need to find somebody that, especially if you're coming from a non-traditional background, you need to know somebody that's going to make a recommendation for you, that they pick your resume out from the file and look at it and give you an interview. So you need that kind of in. So, connecting to these networks is really important. Also blogging, you want to blog your personal story. You want to go on medium.com. You want to start a blog, and you want to just kind of document your journey, anything you're learning. You want to kind of document that. You want to, document any kind of struggles or any challenges that anybody might read it, might be able to relate. And be sure to put your LinkedIn profile at the bottom in a banner, and that way they can connect with you, and you can kind of grow your community that way. But the book kind of goes into detail about how to find a job and what job titles to look for. There are several different job titles to look for. This, SOC analyst job is just one job title, but there's half a dozen of them that you can look for, and where to go to look for jobs as well. The book kind of covers that as well.
Yeah, and I think when we wrote the first edition in what was it, Tyler, 2020, the job market was very different. Right. Mm-hmm. There was no shortage of cybersecurity jobs. We find ourselves in a very different job market right now. And when we found ourselves in writing the second book, or the second edition, we had to really take a look and change quite a bit on the job boards and what to look for when it came to job positions, because now it's a much tougher market, because there's such a large influx of applicants into this field.
More competitive, for sure.
It's very much more competitive. I've personally, in the last month even, I've had a couple positions where I've had a rec open for a day, and I've had 500 applicants in a day. It's crazy out there, and not to mention the layoffs that are releasing qualified individuals into the job market. So it's even more difficult for individuals to break through. And something I wanted to make sure that was in the book was, don't be afraid to and start with a contract role, right? That is a great way to get that experience and to break into the cybersecurity, specifically SOC analyst role. Those are out there. MSSPs are hiring for contract roles all the time. They are a great way to start off in this field.
And you probably get a wide variety of experience or exposure anyway through an MSSP as well.
For sure.
So tell me a bit about the structure of the book. So it sounds like there's some storytelling in there, resources for tools and community boards and things like that. Do you feel this is a reference? Is it an inspirational piece? What was your intent pulling this together?
It's kind of got both components. It's a book to reference from. For instance, we start out going into the demand of cybersecurity, and then we kind of jump into how to find a job, how to look for a job, and then we kind of jump into what is the day-to-day life like as a SOC analyst, what tools, what terminology you use, and then we jump into the technical skills. So, what is zero trust? What is least privilege? And, TCP/IP. We kind of break it all down for you. So it's a good book to reference there as well. And then we kind of move forward into where the industry is heading and where it's going into cloud security. So we have a chapter dedicated entirely to cloud security, and then we have a chapter dedicated to security automation. So that's a big part of the role, and that's something we address some of the concerns, like what's going to happen to all the SOC analysts when automation takes over, and we kind of address the key concerns of SOC analysts today in a chapter dedicated to SOC automation, and we even cover some new things like how to use ChatGPT and as a SOC analyst, in large language models. And then you get to the back of the book as kind of additional content, all the inspirational stories from our five SOC analysts that traversed the path recently.
Jarrett, I'm itching to ask you this question because kind of looking at where the role is heading, and Tyler just touched on automation. On my show, I talk about operationalizing security, not just in the SOC, but the program at large. And I believe that security in general has a lot of knowledge and data to help the business define itself in a way with reduced exposure, reduced risk, and perhaps even better innovation opportunities with security in mind. And no better role than in the SOC, I believe, for that type of knowledge. Which machines are constantly getting popped? Which ones are we always patching that we never can patch because we never get to the end of the list, and they're sitting there exposed, and those are the ones that are always in the list of something to explore. These are the threats, or these are the types of operating system, whatever it is. There's a ton of information there. So the future of this role, do you kind of in relation to the automation may take our role, is there a way for this role to reinvent itself to be more strategic? In my Peter Pan view of cybersecurity.
I mean, I can definitely see there being additional duties to the SOC analyst role, to where I think automation is going to remove the mundane tasks from the SOC analyst role. And I think what that means is the SOC analyst is going to take on more and more responsibility, right? And I think that's a good thing, but I think at the end of the day, that's going to free up businesses to give more tasks to less people. And, that does hurt the job market overall, but that's good for the bottom line of the business, which you can argue back and forth of, is that a good thing for the economy or not? But, I think that at the end of the day, the analyst is going to have to be able to do more than just a SOC analyst, right? That there has to be a path upwards for SOC analysts to move beyond just being a SOC analyst. In my team, the path up is usually you start as a SOC analyst and you move up to an incident responder. Either from there you move over to a threat intelligence analyst or to a forensics analyst. And then we kind of have some sim engineers here and there. So if that's what you're interested in, we have a couple automation engineers. So, we have a plethora of specialties that they can move into, beyond being just a SOC analyst. SOC analyst is the entry level, but there's other paths upwards and out. So absolutely, I think you're right. I think there's paths up and out from being a SOC analyst. As far as analyzing the risk, I think that's the manager's job. That's what we're there for.
Tyler, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I just want to back up what Jarrett's saying, and that there are many career paths for SOC analysts. There's so many directions we cover that in the book. There's so many directions you can take from SOC analyst or senior SOC analyst that your options aren't limited, and there will be more challenging things to do for SOC analysts. You can't remove all of the SOC analysts from an organization and replace it with machines, because there are so many decisions that require just a human to do. And while there will probably be less SOC analysts in the long run, they're not going to be replaced by automation. It's a tool to use in their job, like large language models and ChatGPT. They're tools that SOC analysts, or for any other industry, they are just another tool in the tool bag that you can use to make your job more efficient and more and easier and better. That way, it frees you up to work on more challenging tasks. So that's kind of, in summary, my thoughts.
Yeah. Actually, just relevant to this topic, a team member of mine is at Splunk.conf today. Just sent me a business card for a new company who is advertising a fully autonomous AI team member for your SOC. So we're starting to see these products come around that are, advertising products that are force multipliers for your SOC team, right? Get the information that we care about to your SOC members as quickly as we can. So, decrease the number of people you need to monitor the dashboard.
Yeah, I'm big on this role, and the reason I asked the question the way I did is I honestly believe that this isn't a job that's going to be replaced by technology. It's going to be a job that's replaced or enhanced by intelligence, and the intelligence, along with what's in the name of the title of the role, analyst. Right? I really believe it's an exciting place to be. I think we're going to, as I kind of joked at the beginning, Jarrett, you've seen some stuff, right? This group sees stuff that I think will shape the way we build businesses in the future. And no better place to be, from my perspective, than right there. So,
yeah, agreed.
It's the front line of the cyber war.
It is.
Whether it's the industry, whether it's VMware, Dell, HP, IBM, or whether it's Department of the Army or DoD or wherever, that's where the exciting stuff's happening, right? There's some cool stories we have over there as well. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It is the front line of the cyber war that's being waged globally.
Yep. Yeah, and as we all know, no such thing as 100% protection. So something always ends up on this lap. Well, very cool, guys. I'm appreciative for you joining me to share a bit about the role and the book. Give you a moment here. Any final thoughts? Anything we didn't touch on that you want our listeners to know about the book or otherwise?
Yeah, you can buy the book on Amazon. So you can just type in Jumpstart Your SOC Analyst Career. If you end up at the first edition, there'll be a link there when you open it up to go to the second edition. And you can buy it anywhere books are sold, but we prefer you to buy it on Amazon and leave a review when you're done.
Very good. And folks know that we always include links to the book as well. So I'll include that link to the book on Amazon. We encourage folks to read and learn and share your knowledge. So if I'll leave the call here. If somebody read the book and has applied the learnings and wants to share their story, I'm happy to chat with them as well. And Jarrett and Tyler, you're back welcome back for that anytime too. Well, thank you both for that. Jumpstart your SOC Analyst Career, Roadmap to Cybersecurity Success. And cheers to all the folks sitting on the front lines in the SOC. My hat's off to you, literally and figuratively. I've built tools in the past. I know I'm for this group, and I know how important the role is, and appreciate all that everybody does there. And Tyler, Jarrett, appreciate you writing this book to help bring more folks in and get people inspired and on the right track to a successful career in the SOC.
Thank you for helping us. Yep.
Very good. And thanks everyone for listening and watching. And please do stay tuned for more here on Redefining Cybersecurity as we help redefine security programs for the benefit of the business and the folks in the roles. Thank you all.
Bye.